This is Dr. Matt Barber of Alabama Orthopedic Clinic. We are proud supporters of Ransom Reprogram, Ransom Ministries, and all of the good work that they do in our community. If you would like to learn more about us, check us out at alortho.com or barbertotaljoint.com. You can also hear more from me personally on the Ortho Real podcast. Thank you again for allowing us to be involved with Ransom Ministries and all of the great work that they do.
Hey, welcome to the Ransom Experience. My name is Matt Armbruster, Executive Director of Ransom Ministries. You're going to hear stories from people that we've served and people that serve alongside us, as well as those that we partner with throughout our community. You're going to hear about decisions they made throughout their life and things that happened through different avenues of their life that caused them to go down a path that they didn't see themselves going. And then also those decisions that they have to make on a daily basis to stay away from those decisions that they made in the past. Ransom Ministries empowers people to utilize their God-given gifts and talents in their career and for their community. All along the way, we learn how to help those close to us and also maybe even help ourselves. This is real. This is raw. This is Ransom.
With every star.
This show is brought to you by Ransom Recycling, your number one choice for electronic recycling in Mobile, Alabama. Help reduce waste in our landfills by recycling all of your unwanted, unused, and non-working electronics. Ransom Recycling is a division of Ransom Ministries that is helping to put men and women back to work. Check out ransomministries.com for a complete list of acceptable items. Drop-offs and pickups can be easily scheduled through the website. Please note that we are not accepting TVs at this time. Ransom Recycling, open 8 to 3 Monday through Friday. Help our planet while helping men and women re-enter the workforce.
With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
Welcome to a new episode of the Ransom Experience, where we each week meet with either someone gone through our program, someone going through our program, a volunteer, or whatever. And so we were sitting around today, and we do this thing called Circle Time, which we've talked about a couple times on here, where they just meet from 8:30 in the morning till about 9, and we just talk about life. And normally we have a word we put on the board, and we kind of just share what that word means to us personally. Today it was surprises, which got me thinking. I was getting ready to do a podcast, and we had the last couple of weeks, we've talked to Angela, and we talked to her on our very first day of work. I rebooted that, and then we came back with another one telling kind of what she'd learned over those 6 months that she's been here. And I thought that was a really cool way of doing things. And I thought, well, I haven't really done an update on the people that have gone through the program or that I've had on the podcast over the last, I don't think I did the first 10 or 12. We did a one. And then all of a sudden it was called Where Are They Now? And then I hadn't done one since then. And we've done 60. That was our 67th podcast that day, yesterday or last week. So I started looking through them, and I started with some earlier ones, and I realized there's been a lot of people that we've interviewed on this that have done really well. I mean, I know it ain't because of being interviewed on the podcast, but I think that over those few that I looked at, I'm thinking there's a way higher percentage of those that are doing well and excelling in what they had set their goals on than maybe even the first 10 that we did. So that's encouraging to me, and it was kind of a surprise. So that was kind of my surprise today. So I'm going to walk through some of these and kind of tell you a little bit. I'd really encourage you to go back and listen to their podcast, listen to kind of their story and where they came from. And then I'm going to kind of tell you where they are now. We're a firm believer that most people, if they have a really good community to fall back on, then they have a better percentage of doing well and stay in the course, the goals that they've set. And for those of you out there that maybe starting for the first time, Ransom Ministries takes men and women coming out of prison, addiction, and homelessness, and we teach, first of all, soft skills, how to show up to work, how to do those things that are important on the job, how to be a person of character, how to work when no one's watching, things like that. And then we have the recycling part where we actually put them to work and practice those things. Those are our theaters of work where they can practice, mess up their lines and not get fired, not get kicked off, and get ready for the big show, which is that next B job, the things that we do. And we also have a staffing arm of this where once they graduate through recycling and reprogram, then we plug them into our staffing arm where they go work for companies that have partnered with us to let them move on and build their resume, build their skill base, and also make a little bit more money. So that's kind of a roundabout way. You can go to our website, ransomministries.com, and find out a little bit more about what we do. Go to YouTube. We got videos that kind of share different things, interviews we've done. But I kind of wanted to start with so I'm going to start with one that was on episode 17, and that's Brian. You heard his story on episode 17. He did really, really good. He came through this program and he went as one of our first ones to go into staffing. He was over there for about 90 days to 120 days. And then they saw the leadership in him. They saw the ability in him. And so Merchants Transfer, which is a friend of mine and his family and some other people we know. They own that company and they have taken a chance on the people that we train, and it's been a great relationship with them, and I'm so happy that those things that worked out, because Brian went over there, worked, did a great job. We tell them when you first go over there, all you're going to do is really sweep paper up, because they store a lot of paper and it needs to be cleaned up. So we tell them to become the best dang paper sweepers they've ever seen. And as they do that, people notice that they are a person of character and they're going to do the small things. And Brian did that. Brian went over there, swept paper. He was a great forklift operator after, we got him his certification, but he'd already had some experience. So he goes over there and then they hire him on full time with benefits, and he's now one of their employees. So I'm really encouraged by that. And then I want to move on to we'll move on to Catherine. Catherine came through the Home of Grace. She was in this program. You can hear her story on episode 21. And her story was just amazing, where she came from, how she had struggled with addiction and went to the Home of Grace. And now I see Catherine. She's a very beautiful woman. She's out there working at the Home of Grace as a counselor. She's well respected by all the ladies that are coming through there. And she just got married not long ago. Those are things that she probably never saw happening in her life. And with the community that she had through the Home of Grace, but also through Ransom, I think that helped her stay focused. She went to work at Rouse's and did phenomenal. They wanted her to come on as a manager, but she just felt led to get into the ministry with Home of Grace. And I know over there, they're glad she's there. And I know the ladies that she mentors are glad she's there as well. So Catherine has done a really good job of staying focused and staying on track for her goals. And then I want to talk about D-Roy. D-Roy came to us, and we talked about his story in episode 26. He first was one of our other first one. Him and Brian kind of went to staffing together. They did a great job over there. He kind of was my lead guy and kind of watched people and where they're going, but just never really felt like that was where he was going to land, So he just kept working, being faithful, showing up. Did a couple other staffing jobs with us with one of our board members who has a business. He did a little bit of work with him. And then I got a call from Budweiser Bush, which is a friend of mine and his family own that company, and they needed someone that was reliable, that would come to work and do that. And D-Roy had worked with them during the holidays, loading trucks, and had done a really good job. So sent him over there. He's now there full-time, benefits, really doing well, excelling, and I feel like it was his patience and the way that he stayed focused on his goals that was able to land him that job. And I think it's going to be could be a great career for him down the road. And then we have Summer, who came through, and she really helped us get the resale store going. She has a great business mind. She got everything kind of organized. Her story was in episode 52, and now she is on staff with the Home of Grace as well. So a lot of these ladies are using their hurt and their pain to help others, and many of you out there have a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, and you can use that to help other people and to use that to get them out of their darkness and to let them know that that's a possibility. But Summer's over there. She's working for the Home of Grace, and from what I understand, doing a really good job. She's become a leader, and we never doubted that she could do that. Then the next one is Tom. He was in episode 53, and I'll never forget when I named that episode. I thought I was in hell. How much impact that would have on people. But Tom shared a lot about mental illness and about how he struggled with it and how he fought it and how he felt like if he took the medicine and did all that he was given into that. And he shared his story through that. And then he got on with Hargrove as an intern, Hargrove Engineering. He had a degree from college. He did some things that weren't, just bad choices, and it pulled him away from that. But then Hargrove, who is another partner of ours, they saw something in him and wanted to let him come on there as an intern. He's been knocking it out the ballpark from what I understand and doing a really good job. He's got some legal issues hanging over his head that if he can get those things done, I believe that Hargrove will probably bring him on full time. But right now he's just being patient and understand whatever happens is going to happen. But he has a peace about it. Last time I talked to him, he's even done some things. I'll tell you a little story. I was at a restaurant locally, and I saw this guy. Couldn't really see him, but I saw that he was doing some kind of tutoring with a lady. And they were sitting there doing something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about tutoring. Definitely no one will ever ask me to tutor them in any subject in school. But I saw him, and I walked by him, and it was Tom. He just was helping this lady that he met, help her learn. I think it was math, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was there tutoring her. And I found out later that he just met her, and she needed help, so he wanted to help her. He's got a really good heart. I've seen him grow in his faith and his relationship with God, and how he's really sold out for that. And I think that's helped him get the peace that he needs about whatever's going to happen with his job and with all the different things. Then we got Lacey, who's the next one. You heard her story in 54. Tom's was actually, I think I listed it as episode 1 of season 2, and Lacey was episode 2 of season 2, but I've changed. It's actually 53 and 54, but you can go back and look at that. But Lacey did really well. She's had a lot of ups and downs lately, struggling. But what's cool about Lacey is that she's came to us when she's in the midst of those struggles so that we can help. And that goes back to community. That goes back to honesty and just sharing where you are, because really what hurts most of us is we wear this mask around that everything's okay, and it really isn't. And then once it's to a point where no one can help you is when we try to ask for help. Lacey has been doing a phenomenal job asking for help when she needs it. She's over also working at Merchants and working with Ellis over there, and really I think this week he's on vacation and she's taken over his job. Ellis has been over there for many years, runs the logistics part of it, and she's picked up that mantle and really done well. We're trying to help her fight through these other things that are keeping her from excelling, and I'm excited to see her on the other side, and I'll bring her back on here and you can hear the story directly from her, but she's doing really well. Then we want to go to Ethan. Ethan was episode 5 of season 2. Also, it's 57, whichever one. I think it's listed as 5. But Ethan came here as an 18-year-old. Really didn't know nothing. He just knew he needed to get some help and learn how to work, and he did a great job. He went through a lot of stuff. He learned about work. He learned from those around him how to work, and then he got hired on with actually through staffing again, through Dean's Scrap Metal, who also is a partner of ours, and we sell a lot of our scrap there locally. And they hired him on as to run the scales and to do the things and check people in. And he's been over there through Christmas, and then they hired him on full-time as a full-time employee. And he has just got the personality for that job, and he's doing really well. And I think they're even leaning on him to help make some changes to make their company more efficient. And he's really excelled since his story. And you can see hear his story on episode 5 of season 2. He's a kid that's persevered through so much and so many issues and things and people and all that. And I've just seen him blossom as a employee, but also as a person. Next, we have Amanda. Amanda came here. You heard her in just episode 58 of season 2. She came here as an atheist. She'll tell you that straight up. She didn't believe in God, but she saw something in the people around her and wanted to do that through the Home of Grace. She came here. She was very didn't have much confidence, but you can hear her story on episode 58. But then since then, she's been placed in leadership, and she's had a couple job offers, but she's been very patient and staying the track on her goal to get her coding certificate. And she actually takes that final test tomorrow. So anybody out there needs to be praying for that she can get it. And so I'm excited for her to get that. I really believe she will. And then she's, move to whatever God has her. But I've seen her be very patient, not chase the dollar, do the things she needs to do. She's held the leadership mantle here very well. She leads the others in here, but she also makes it where I can also do other things and step away. And I've seen her grow so much. Then we had Kyle. He was episode 60, and I watched him struggle. He came through the waterfront rescue mission, who was a partner of ours as well, and he just kind of struggled. I put him in a job in staffing. It didn't work out. He came back. He didn't get discouraged. He started learning the things that he had really messed up over there. He needed to work on here, so he worked on those things. And then we sent him over to merchants through staffing again. And now he's loading trucks, working hard. He picked up some more responsibility. He's actually working with the new guys that we just sent over there. We sent a couple guys over there just this week, and he's working with them, showing them the ropes. I've been very impressed and very happy with what Kyle has been doing since he's went back over there. But what I was most impressed is he didn't get discouraged in the first staffing job we sent him on. He knew he had somewhere to come land. He came back here. We worked through those things that company said that he needed to, and now we've seen him make some really good movements, bought a car and done some other things since he's moved there. And then we got Levester, who you've met in episode 61. So not that many episodes ago, but man, a lot has happened since then. He got into CDL training, and he's just really excelling. I mean, to the point where they're saying he's going to graduate really quick and be able to get out on the road and get his seat time and get his experience. And he's real excited about that. We feel like he's already got a place to go. Right now, he's my lead guy in the processing room, and he does a great job leading the others, being patient with them, working with them, and doing those things that it takes to be a leader. So I've seen him grow. I've seen him go through so many things in the time he's been here, and I've seen him really excel at those things. And then we got the last one we're going to talk about. It's Ralph. Ralph came here through the Wings of Life partnership. He is a really awesome individual. He wants to really do right. And so we're working him into the position of leader in the back. And hopefully, he'll be able to stay with us for a little while. I just got to the point where I was training all these people to go to work, and then we needed them. So hopefully we can bring some people on staff here to help us grow here as well. But as I go through all those, it just blows me away how awesome God is. We have so many awesome partners. I mentioned Wings of Life. I mentioned Merchants Transfer. I didn't even mention Metter Warehouse, who also employs 2 of our people, and also Dean Scrap Metal out in 8 Mile for taking a chance on these. The Home of Grace, Waterfront Rescue Mission, the different parole officers in our community, and I just listen to and watch them work with our individuals, but also watch these individuals excel because of that community. And I'm going back to that because I can look back on every one of these that we just talked about today, and I can know that they are part of our community. We still in contact with them. We text them periodically. We follow up, and really had nothing to do with us because we can't always push that, but they have chosen to be part of a community that's going to encourage them, lift them up, and really be their cheerleader when they're trying to go after these goals, and also someone there that can hold their arms up when things go rough. So that's really what the essence of this ministry is about, what we're really about. So I would encourage all of you to get in community with people. If there's people out there struggling with addiction, homelessness, or you just got out of prison, you have nowhere to go, hey, look us up on the website. Look us up on the web, ransomministries.com. You might be a good fit here where we are. We got classes or groups that will start every month or so. We usually do 4 or 5 in those groups. You can go to our website, get the application, fill it out, bring it by to us. But I'm telling you, community is the most important thing out there because community will help build your faith and build your relationship with individuals as well as your relationship with God, and help you on both your spiritual side and your work side. I'm really encouraged by what I've seen here. And my word today, since it was surprise, was I was very surprised at how many are doing well. And I needed that encouragement today because it does get you can focus on the bad. Everybody out there, you don't need to focus so much on the bad things. Always remember to look at where you are now compared to where you were, and that Jesus loves you no matter where you are. He wants you to live for him, but mostly he wants to be there for you in your times of trouble and your time of praise. So we've seen so much in the last year or so. We got so much fixing to happen. I encourage you to come out. We got lunch and learns scheduled. Keep up with that on our website, but also all of our social media will be pointing. And on those lunch and learns, we offer you a really good lunch, but also you learn kind of what we do, how you can get involved, how you can send people our way. And if you're a business out there, how you can get rid of your electronics, how you can get really high quality employees. Again, we have the staffing arm where we'll send them. We don't turn them over real quick because we're very diligent in making sure they're trained and ready to go into that staffing. We're not just trying to put bodies out there, and we're not about numbers. We're about how many quality people we can get through this program, but mostly the quality over the quantity. Love to see you out here. We're at 320 South Craft Highway in Chickasaw. We have a facility out here. We have our education facility, and I'd love to see you come visit with us, tour it, and look and see what we're doing. Meet the men and women that are in our program. But I love doing this podcast. I know you probably don't always like hearing my voice, but man, we are trying to transform individuals through faith and their career. That's really what we're out here to do, transforming individuals, not just changing them, but transforming them into who they were supposed to be and who God created them to be. And that's really the whole purpose of what we do out here. And then also change mindsets in the people out there that think criminals and homeless people and drug addicts are just a lost cause and they're there because they want to be, and also change the mindset of those that are out there struggling with addiction or just getting out of prison or living in the streets, that there is hope and there is a way to get out and there is a purpose for your life. That's the whole reason that we do this, and that's the reason that we sit here today. We learned something this week about a poverty mentality and poverty mentality and an abundance mentality. And we've been learning, I learned it through a book. It's called The Genius of Jesus. If you want to get it, it's really good, but it talks in there about a poverty mentality is I got to get mine. That's why you see people hustling. That's why you see people out there trying to steal from people and getting things because they got to get theirs. But an abundant mentality is God is always more generous than I am. That means I can go out there and I can give you knowledge. I can give you wisdom, and God's going to give it back to me. I can go out there and I can help other people, and he's still going to give it back to me. And I know that that's the difference between a poverty mentality and abundance. And also we're learning how to be servants on the job. Always do more than's required, and always do more than's expected. And that is the power of being a servant, not an employee, not a worker, but a servant. And that will transform the way that you're treated on the job, the way you're treated in your pocketbook by your job, and then also if you want to succeed on the job. So thank you again for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed our update on those individuals. There's so much more that I could share you about those. I'd love to have each one of them on here to share kind of where they are, and we might revisit some of those and let you listen to them. But you can go back and listen to those podcasts that I listed, the numbers, and that way you can listen to their story and then listen to my update on them. So again, I appreciate you. Follow us on all of our social media, and then also send this podcast to your friends. Let them know what it's all about. Subscribe, hit the like button, give us some comments, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and what you want to hear. And we thank you, and we will see you next week.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight.